We got a little ocean spray there. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers Without Filters podcast, episode 95. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson, and tonight I'm drinking the 4-Day Ray Brewing Blood Orange Blonde. Okay,
Ooh.
and I'll tell you what, this coating or sticker, whatever the fuck it is, it's the coarsest, most low grit matte I've ever felt, and I like it a lot. All right, it's got so much texture on the can. It's a good time to hold it. You know what I'm saying? And the beer's pretty good too.
Beer's pretty good.
Secondary to the can.
I'm Joseph, and I'm drinking Bell's Brewery Larry's latest Juicy IPA, which is
Ooh.
something I found last weekend.
That sounds amazing.
No, this is like the fourth.
So what's the review?
Oh, it's pretty good. There's quite a bit of sediment in the bottom.
Oh, I don't like those.
But I mean, how you get a hazy, right? It's unfiltered, so it's pretty good. I like it. You just kind of gotta like swirl it a little bit to
roll it around and stuff.
Yeah, which I forgot to do. Yeah, if you're a pussy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This man likes pulp in his orange juice because he thinks it's manly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Disgusting.
that's fucked up,
that
dude.
pulp it out of here, dude.
Dude,
Slimy.
it's like, let's have celery like stringed out, but taste like oranges and put it in orange juice. That's what it is. I don't know. It's gross. Oh, fucking gross. Anyways, I'm cutting this shit off. I'm Gabe. I've got the Hazy Project from what was this, Blacklist? It's in Duluth. We've been there, Jacob and
we have.
Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty cool brewery. And I like hazies, so it was an easy pick.
I will say their on tap hard seltzer, not good. Because it was just syrup and they poured seltzer water into it. Remember that?
I thought it was fine. I liked it.
Yes,
I don't even think you had one, Jacob.
I didn't order one, but I tried ones you got. And it tasted like the Coke freestyle machines, where it's like, it's cool you have this much like options, but because you're mixing like the syrup and soda water like right here, it's not perfect. You know, it doesn't taste.
That's how every fountain drink works, though.
Yeah, but there's something a little different about it, Joseph. Like when it's
like that's literally they just have soda water and
Sprite.
syrup. That's how a regular
like,
fountain drink works.
There's like the extra flavoring. But it's like, okay, I want whatever. What's a fucking like vanilla or cherry Coke, and then add the extra vanilla into it. It's like, okay, this seems a little bit.
I think you have way more memory of that one sip than I do of those two that I ordered.
Yeah, I mean, I thought. How else do you do? I think that's the best way to do an on tap seltzer.
I'm not saying I've seen a better way. I'm just saying that was the first time it was like available. I'm like, oh, I want to try and so I tried one of yours, and I'm like, it seems kind of off to me. But it could have just been their seltzer, I guess. I don't know, but it seemed a little.
I mean, I thought it was fine, but
yeah, I don't remember having any strong opinions. So
yeah,
Gabe, all I have is strong opinions.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay. That's good. Thanks for giving me the heads up on that one 4 years later. Nice. Man, you already had the other one before.
Make it a double.
A Deepa.
It's
what percentage is it? Yeah.
Oh.
You gotta sleep well tonight, buddy.
Big yikes. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Like I said, it's episode 95. As always, you can check out our show every Monday on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and YouTube. go watch us on YouTube. All right, we want more views, more subscribers. Help us out a little bit.
We want more views, please.
We have
Please.
we have 15 subscribers. All right, we gotta get a little bit more than that.
Dayton will
Um,
give you dots.
that's not a selling point, Gabe. That'll drive people
Dayton's
away.
not gonna give up his dots. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Dayton's dots. I don't know. It's got a good ring to it.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitch. Instagram at EDF Podcast and Twitch at EDF_podcast. We may or may not be starting to stream video games during the week. We'll keep you updated on that, but maybe just keep an eye out if we start doing that soon. But yeah, so this episode, it's a multiple of 5, which means we normally do a STEM episode. This episode is going to be like a pseudo STEM because people may or may not have
Pseudoscience.
prepared.
Because we're lazy.
It's all conspiracy theories.
Yeah, we're doing conspiracies too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's like a bunch of pictures where like sometimes she's like will actually touch Donald Trump and sometimes she like will stand 2 feet apart from him. And
Yeah.
it's like sometimes she just acts completely different around him.
I love that.
That's actually hilarious.
It's super good.
But yeah, so
Does it though?
I mean,
are
yeah.
we saying it's like a twin situation? Is it a clone? Is it a robot? Like I'm
I
just
think it's just a
confused.
lookalike.
It's a lizard person. I feel like Joseph though, if it was just a person who looks similar, like she's in public enough where people would have been able to figure that out by now. Just by
Yeah, that's true.
pictures.
But if it's a
Actually
twin
looks
though,
really similar. Facial reconstructive surgery is a thing.
Also, what's like the incentive for that? Like, who would want to do that?
money.
You know,
Just
Yeah.
like be around this man and I'll give you money. Like
you cannot pay me any sum to.
possible. I feel like that's gotta be hard to replace. She's so fucking old. Like I feel like they keel over left and right.
Fuck, this is the 3rd one this month.
It's not like they're getting assassinated. They just get old.
It's just like a young person, like a wig, you know, and like makeup. And it's like, wait, why is the queen running? Like, what?
Doing
Yeah.
like pull-ups and shit.
I don't know. I have not heard that one, Dayton, and I kind of want it to be true, but
Yeah,
probably.
for the sake of the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Donald Trump's wife hates him so much, she got a body double, so she doesn't have to see him like half the time.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, so as I hinted at, yeah, so people may or may not have prepared for this episode, even though I warned them ahead of time that it was a STEM episode. But you know,
It's Gabe and I. You can say our names.
Yeah.
We have names, Jacob.
I
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to
He's
put
that
John.
guy who sends emails. Is like someone is not putting the glasses back in the break room. That's
And
Jacob.
it's like there's 4 people on the email.
They have names on the cup. See
gonna
picture
lie.
attached.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of did that today in a meeting.
Oh my god.
I don't actually know who like it was, but like you guys remember back when we lived together, the kitchen sink was just a fucking nightmare, right?
Yeah.
Like all the time. There's always a bunch of shit piled up, and it got stuff was in there for so long, people forgot whose it was, you know, and it was
Yeah.
just like, you know, and so in my lab, like that has happened. Like the past 2 months, like shit has just been piling up in the sink, and it's like it's gotten so full you can't even like wash your hands or do like your normal like dishes and stuff. So I said in lab meeting today, I'm like, I don't know who it is, and I don't. I'm like, go clean up your shit in the sink. Like I don't know how it got so bad, but I assume people just forgot their stuff in there. But it's like somebody left their shit. Go look it over and clean it up. All right, because I'm not gonna fucking do it. It's not my stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, it's not my job. Everyone has chores, and that's not my chore.
Hmm.
Fair.
They never got
Somebody has to
done.
end up doing it. Yeah. Maybe after break, if it's still bad, I'll just go in one day and just fucking deal with it. But
There you go.
we'll see. I don't know who it was though, Date. I don't know who the culprit is. I have theories, of course, but I have no definitive evidence.
Full vengeance on
Yeah.
theories alone.
Dude, somebody fucking and actually I have a very solid idea who the person was, but somebody poured agar gel, which is agar is like the stuff you grow bacteria on. It's like when it's warm, it's very very viscous, kind of like molasses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're supposed to like put it in like a trash bags, like biohazard trash bags. Somebody just poured the molten agar down the fucking drain and clogged it. It's like,
Oh,
how dumb are you? Like, I don't understand.
yikes.
You're like, yeah, this is a good idea. The stuff that will solidify if it cools, pouring it down a drain.
Grad school smart, man.
Exactly. I'm not one to claim I have a lot of street smarts, but I know not to fucking do that.
Hmm.
Gabe, you mentioned that you had an anecdote or two.
Yeah,
Throw
this
'em
is
at me.
because, well, I got one that's kind of like a backhanded compliment. I feel like of science and technology, and that is okay. Cars, everyone drives them.
Okay.
People drive cars.
Yeah.
And I've noticed a lot of these. So, I mean, I don't think we have anybody who listens outside the United States, but there's
I think we have a couple actually.
doing okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a law. I don't know the name of it, but basically, automakers are kind of forced to make their cars more efficient over a timeline. So they have to hit a certain threshold by a certain year, and then it scales to a certain degree until it gets like redrawn or whatever. And I think because of this, cars, especially SUVs, all look the fucking same because they are the most efficient at that body style,
Like the
like that.
aerodynamics of it.
Exactly. So that's like the most efficient way for it to be as big as it is and still hit that target that they need to. And I think that's a great thing that, they're pushing and that is a law and that, trying to make cars more efficient. However, it makes cars really fucking boring, Like
Mm-hmm.
you're watching regular car reviews every now and then whenever fucking Tim and Joseph have it on downstairs, which is just a YouTube channel. This guy uh, finds random people who like have unique vehicles or whatever. And I've noticed almost all of the unique cool ones are from a time when that didn't exist, or like they were more worried about the styling than like the performance of the car. Uh, and again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just something that I've noticed, and I think it's very interesting solution or problem to have, right? Because I'm sure these people are trying to differentiate themselves while also, following the law.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it puts that market in such a unique position. As just an interesting observation.
I want to draw a parallel to that.
Do it.
What about the things that we have in our pockets wherever we go?
Oh, for fucking sure.
My
dude.
wallet?
Our phones. Everybody's fucking phone looks the exact same now.
Except
just-
the LG Wing. Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Except for the LG Wing and like the Fold and stuff like that. For the past like 3 or 4 years, all the phones have been the same. They're just a glass sandwich, big ass screen, small bezels.
Yeah.
But like that's what people want, right? Like how would you change it for the better?
It's comfortable. So
See, I
how
would
people
almost
recognize
argue
it.
that the best innovation comes from weird shit like the LG Wing or like weird concept cars, right? That like steer it in a completely direction, no pun intended. Steer it in a direction that hasn't been done before, and takes a different angle on it. I just think that it happens in more bursts than gradual, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to
Like the
to really word
innovations
it.
happen in bursts.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's like boom, here's a new idea, and then someone's like, "That's a great idea. I can make it better, right? And then
Mhm.
that's when the gradual thing happens. So I feel like we're in this very slow, like gradual, like, okay, all cars are kind of the same. And I'm waiting for that, like, here's some weird shit, you know?
Like the Cybertruck.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. Some shit like that.
I think the car and the phone are actually pretty different. I think with the car, it is like directly a result of energy efficiency, right? Like if you look at science, like aerodynamics and aerodynamic theory, I guess, or just principles, like it would make sense that cars would all, congregate to one specific point of design where like,
It's
yeah,
one
this is
car.
yeah, where it's like it has to be this shape to get the best aerodynamics. Like if you're trying to increase energy efficiency, this is how it's gonna work. If you don't care about energy efficiency anymore, then you can do whatever you want. Like if
Mhm.
we had, uh, electric cars with insane batteries, yeah, you could go back to having a muscle car design because you don't care if you're losing some mileage from airflow, right? But like
Mhm.
because of the priority in question, like the science and the optimization will push it towards that one singular point. So like
Yeah.
it sucks from like a style perspective and like a uniqueness, but like it's because that's what we've wanted, right? We keep wanting more efficient cars. Like that's
Yeah.
the way it's gonna go.
Well, that's the thing. I'm sure like the consumer isn't upset when they get a car that's like, I don't know what percentage, honestly. I couldn't tell you what the rate of increase is over the years, but like, a more efficient one than the last one they had. Like, no one's, I didn't fucking complain when I got a newer car and it was like double the gas mileage I got last time,
Yeah, but you
like,
went from a Jeep to a
okay, but
VW.
whatever, sure. But my point is, like, the consumer doesn't get mad about that, but I do think that some people like are like, I don't know, they're a little bored of it.
Yeah, no, I don't deny that. It's just like if scientists are being told to design cars to this certain parameter, the
Mhm.
science will push in that direction. And with phones, I feel like I guess it's more similar than I initially thought. Like to me, as far as like the design, like nobody wants to go back to buttons, right? Everything's gonna be touchscreen from here on out, right?
Mhm.
And I guess there's a lot of more factors with like how a phone looks as far as like how it feels in the hand, size of the screens. People want like a bigger screen if they use it for certain things.
Mhm.
Um, but there has been a lot of like discussion recently on like bevels and like where the cameras are placed, especially on like the front facing camera, right?
Yeah.
Like having big lips and stuff. So like I would argue there's still figuring out design stuff, but I agree, but yeah, Dayton, like it is going to be like a glass rectangle.
See, I think the driving factor is just different, right? Like feel is definitely something that I could see being like a generational thing or like a over time thing. I mean, phones when they first came out, like like mobile phones, I should say, they were huge, so they got them as small as possible, and then they're like, this fucking sucks. I can barely fucking touch the number. So then they
Mhm.
started making them bigger, and I feel like even now we've got a point where phones are so big that people are making them smaller again. They're like,
Like
Mhm.
Apple
okay,
with many
let's
lines,
make
right?
this like the perfect size for most people. And the other driving factor is definitely battery life, right? Like that's
Mhm.
battery life just isn't battery technology just isn't where I think it needs to be, because like phones are getting faster every year. They're the chips are getting faster, they're demanding more power, but the battery life just isn't there in my mind. So I feel like that's another limiting factor, right? Like,
Mhm.
okay, we need to make it faster, but we need to make it not thick as fuck and still actually like, you
Mhm.
know, hold the charge for a day, right? And I
Oh
think
yeah, I
that's
mean
It's
that's
the
why they're
screen.
getting, yeah, making the screen bigger, or like the phone itself like
right, because she can fit more battery in
long.
it.
Yeah, you can fit a bigger
Yeah, except
battery.
that's like
So
it's a double-edged sword because then the
Yeah.
screen is
you
actually
can,
the biggest battery sink
Hmm.
Yeah.
on
yeah,
your battery. And then you get the people who want to have like 1440p resolution on a
Yeah.
6-inch display, and then they
Yeah.
also want to have like 140 hertz or 120 hertz display. It's
120
like
hertz.
that's going to be sapping even more energy.
There's got to be an equation out there that they use, right? Where it's like, okay, here's how big we can make the battery, and here's like, if we add screen, will we actually net gain battery,
Yeah.
or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
Mhm.
sure that's something that they think about.
I will say
But
I think it seems like charging technologies has been still innovating pretty linearly. Like
that
I
is true.
know like HTC, right? Or no.
OnePlus.
OnePlus.
One is yeah,
OnePlus.
one plus.
Well,
Like
they have
their
a
charging
30
technology is
30 watt
insane.
warp charging
Yeah,
now.
me and Joseph both have the same phone, and it's 30 watt. You can get like 50% in what, like 10
15,
minutes, 15 minutes?
15
It's
minutes, 0 to
15.
50 in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But as far as like capacity per, I guess, square inch or whatever, however you want to describe it, like as far as area of the size of the battery, like has not seen a leap in a long time.
I guess my point is though, I think if battery technology evolves, I think that we'll see a lot more weird phones. I think we'll see like double screen phones, those weird little G flip wing phones. I think that's a big limiting factor.
Yeah. Well, and that's what you were saying before. Like the reason phones were so big back then is because they had to be, because that's how big the components were, and then they could shrink all the components, and that allowed phones to get smaller. But yeah, the battery is probably the limiting factor right now. But like to me personally, and maybe I'm just like short-sighted, but like I think the flip phones are so fucking dumb, like, or the folding screen ones, because it just.
Have you seen Westworld? They're fucking cool.
They just seem so useless. Like it's so like by the time it's folded, it's just barely smaller than my normal phone. So like, why do I like what utility is this giving me?
Double the screen.
You get a yeah, you don't, but there's other people that would want it.
See, and
like
I
if you're
like...
if you're gonna like multitask with it, having an extra wide screen is super nice.
But if you're multitasking that much, just get a tablet.
But you can't fit a tablet in your pocket.
Sure, but I don't know.
Jacob, I feel like if you were to get one, you would find ways to use it to its maximum potential. You wouldn't get one and then just be like, nah, I'm just gonna use it like a normal phone, even though it has this capability. Like it's one of those things where you don't know what you're missing out on until you have it, I'm sure.
Sure.
It's true.
But like, people are still gonna use it like a regular phone, and like scrolling Twitter on a screen that big is like, I don't need to do that. Like it seems like
well, have you seen the Z Fold 2 though? The Z Fold 2 is like the front, like when it's folded in half and it's just like half the display. It's like a normal sized phone almost. Like the aspect ratio is a little bit weird.
Like the first generation ones that were like, it looked like a flip phone after it was closed. You know what I mean?
I mean, there are phones that are going for that. Like they're going for like the old early 2000s flip clamshell look. Like I mean, the Razr rebooted. LG or Samsung has one too. That's pretty much
the Z Flip.
Yeah,
it flips.
They have two flips.
But I guess that seems like another reason why batteries need to evolve. Because if you have a screen in the front and then a double screen,
you got two screens. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's why it needs to be there.
Well, see, so I was watching an MKBHD video, and he was saying that he was using the Z Fold 2, and he was saying that he actually used less battery than he would on a normal phone because a lot of the times he was using it folded and using the smaller display. So it's like you probably end up using the smaller display more often than the bigger display, but if you were using the bigger display, then it would fuck your battery, I'm sure.
That's true.
And then you only use the bigger display when you, hey, I want to read this article and type and write, a text about it, or watch a YouTube video and, watch a live stream and tweet about it at the same time, right?
That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're the only person that buys phones.
People should build phones just for my wants. Like everyone else, fuck them. They get what I want.
Exactly. There's also concepts of like a rolling screen. So like kind of like a scroll.
TVs too.
Yeah. So like you like slide it out and it extends out.
I imagine like a parchment, like a medieval like
well, like that's kind of like the idea. It spools up on the two sides. And
I know.
There's a couple different ones, but yeah.
I don't know why.
That'd be cool.
I definitely see.
Imagine if they made one of those scrolling ones to be a vape too. Do you know how cool you would be?
It's like a jewel with the screen wrapped around it. And then I was gonna say I can see that phones getting a lot more weird than cars will get. So the car thing, it seems a lot more straightforward. Like there's literally equations they're dealing with of like,
oh, for sure,
we need this endpoint. We'll use like this math to get there. Whereas the phones, there's a little bit more freedom and design space.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think though that that's more limited with combustion engines versus electric cars?
We go back to batteries again. Once batteries get good enough, maybe we could get more creative.
Where did that bring you? Back to me.
I mean, if you think about it, like, I mean, do battery or like EV manufacturers follow the same regulations, like the efficiency regulations that combustion cars do?
Probably not, but I imagine the engines or the batteries aren't good enough yet where they can afford to make a muscle car, electric muscle
Well,
car. You know what I
no,
mean?
but okay, I like you don't need the capacity in most electric cars that you have in a car. You don't need this or in a combustion. You don't need the same range
Mhm.
because you can charge it every night. So like
Yeah.
most people that just drive it to work or, just around town or whatever, as, most people drive their cars. Who's driving more than 100 miles in a day? Like that's ridiculous. You
It's
charge
pretty
it at night.
rare.
Yeah, like if you're doing a road trip, that's one thing, obviously. And then you would want a more aerodynamic car. But like for your city driving, like
Sure.
which is who most consumers are, right? Most people live in cities. It's a statistical fact, right?
Well, probably closer to half because a lot of people commute to cities, right?
Yes, but they're still not driving 100 miles a
Yeah, there's
day.
no way that you would deplete the entire range in a day in normal use case. At least
Yeah.
Sure.
if
And
you
a
were doing
hundred
that,
miles.
then an internal combustion engine's a better bet for you.
Yeah. So like I think for like mid-range, and then when I say range, I mean like distance range, not like price
Mhm.
range. Mid-range electric cars could really like thrive in that market of like just fucking cool looking cars, get back to that where like more than because like what is it then is it the Nissan Leaf has like 100-mile range or something, which is kind of
I
like
don't
the
know.
low end.
It's a fucking ugly car, is what it is.
Yes, it is. But you can get more interesting, you have 150-mile range. Who's
Yeah,
going to kill that in a day unless you're road tripping, right?
sure.
I guess,
So,
yeah. It all depends on how big the market is, where they can afford to make a car that is a little bit more, like, stylish, I guess.
Mhm.
yeah.
Um, and I would assume that a lot of rural communities where there is a longer commute don't have a lot of infrastructure to support electric cars anyway, so that's probably going to be behind by
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
good chunk of years. But for city driving, I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
Uh, Joseph, do you have anything you want to talk about tonight?
No, but I did think of a pun earlier when Gabe was talking.
Okay.
Was that the one that I said no pun intended?
No, it was before then.
Okay.
You did say you came up with a couple anecdotes really quickly, and my first thought was panicdotes, so
Okay. Thank you for that.
you said like I came up with a couple anecdotes, and I was like anecdotes.
Oh God. Why am I your friend? Why do I live with you?
I don't know. That's on you, man.
You guys
you'd
are
be
friends.
lonely
You guys
otherwise.
are housemates of circumstance.
Yeah, nothing else, nothing more.
Yeah, purely business.
Basically.
I
So, yeah,
I
no, I
had a
got
funny.
nothing.
Hang on a second. Before I get into my topic, I have a funny thing. When Joseph and Gabe were saying how they can get their phone to from 0 to 50% in 15 minutes, my battery can do the opposite.
Nice.
Yeah, not so impressive in that direction, is it?
Wait, have you still not gotten a new phone, or am I
No.
just
Nope, I still have
figuring
not.
college? Dude, oh, I could have swore you were like about to get one when I was living with you last summer.
Yeah, I was.
Oh my God.
Didn't you get that just before you went to New Zealand?
Yeah, it's coming up on 3 years now.
Get a new phone.
Nice.
The fingerprint here. Let me rattle off the things that are fucked with it. It
It's a
has
high mileage phone.
it hasn't gotten a security update because it's an unlocked phone and LG hates unlocked phones since like 2018. The fingerprint scanner. Yeah, Gabe.
What year was that?
2018.
Dude.
It literally
Oh
has
my
not gotten a single system update in almost 3 years since I bought the fucking phone.
Damn, that stresses me out. It's not even my phone.
The battery or the glass back is completely shattered. That's why I have this nice D brand skin on the back to hold the glass in place. Because the glass is shattered, the fingerprint scanner doesn't work all the time, so I kind of have to smack it really hard to knock the connections back into place. The front screen is perfectly fine. Sometimes it just locks up and refuses to turn back on. The camera is really bad on it.
and the battery's completely fucked.
The battery is so fucked. I have to put it under extreme battery saver mode just so that I can leave work at 20%.
My God.
Get a new fucking phone.
I know, dude, but that's the thing. Like, I want to find a phone that's good enough. I don't want to.
See, normally
I feel like any phone would be good enough at this point.
But I don't want to settle for good enough, Gabe.
Normally, in your habit of like doing research on a product for like a year before you buy it is like, I respect that. In this case, no, you got to get a new fucking phone, dude. Like, even if you mess up a little bit and you think you have like, but what if I got this one after? Dude, your quality of life will go up so much.
I don't really use my phone that much though. That's like the main reason why I've held off on it so long. I don't know.
You're not as addicted to your phone as everyone else.
Yeah, I'm just.
Gabe, what are the security reasons why Dayton needs to get a new phone?
Dude, that's so bad. Like, his phone could be completely compromised right now and he has no fucking clue.
I don't know.
Like,
I feel like I would know via my bank accounts though, right?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe someone's just trying to like dig up dirt on you for 2 years. They're just collecting information, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, every search you've ever.
No, I mean, I
ever
will
sent.
say that like the security stuff, like I didn't realize that until like 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's not good.
And that's been like one of like the bigger reasons for me to get it. The battery I can live without, you know.
I don't
Who
need
cares?
a battery.
Phone never
Who
being able to
cares?
turn on.
Who cares?
Honestly, I would just flash a new like an open source Android OS.
I can't do that because fucking like Verizon doesn't allow it or something. I don't know. And I looked up how to do it, and they would just be like, yeah, this is incredibly difficult, and we don't have a good completion rate on it. And I'm just like, but
It depends on the phone.
yeah. But anyway, so my topic, completely not related to phones at all. In fact, it's related to these things that we're drinking here. Brewskis. So I was reading, and this could be complete bullshit because I don't have a source for this. I just saw this on a Reddit comment, and it seemed to make sense with my own anecdotal experience.
Oh,
so I'm
no.
gonna pass it off as fact.
This is really the pseudoscience episode.
Yeah, could you imagine if like we actually tried to put sources in our episodes though? It'd be such a shit show.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. Okay, so anyway, all right, so hangovers, right?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
drink too much, you get hungover the next day. Simple
Yeah.
as that, right? Well,
Pretty simple.
so what this Reddit comment proposed was that basically, all right, so we know alcohol is a depressant, right? So it's also known as liquid courage, right? It relieves you of, stress, and a lot of times like anxiety, it suppresses that. And
Reduces
then
inhibition.
right. So you go like, however long you're drinking, and then you go to bed plus that time, right? Whatever that is, like 8, 9, 10, 15, 24 hours, I don't know, a week-long bender, who the fuck knows. And you wake up the next day and you're really hungover. Except what this person was saying is that the symptoms of a hangover are not purely physical, and that because alcohol is a depressant and because it suppresses your stress and your anxiety and your inhibitions for so long, that you wake up and then basically it's like a damping effect, right? So your body's been damping these emotions for so long that once your alcohol's gone, it rebounds and it shoots up higher than it was before. So one of the symptoms that is like a lot of people don't realize of hangovers is like feelings of like guilt or like anxiousness, and possibly that's what like causes like nausea and stuff like that.
I would argue people can get quite sad while they're drunk. Not speaking from experience.
Yeah,
Also,
that is true, but
guilt,
that's
I feel like a lot of times comes with, did I really do that last night? Oh shit. Like, I understand where you're coming from. I don't fully buy it.
See, so the reason why I buy it is because I'm not so much of like gee, did I really do that last night? Because a lot of the times
Gee.
I remember damn well what I did last night.
Damn straight I did that last night.
So I can't even pretend to play that off. But a lot of the times it's like I get feelings of guilt and I'm just like, fuck, I'm a complete degenerate. I am a scourge to society.
That happens to me more often when I'm blasted. Joseph fucking knows. And on the infamous Halloween night, I was crying in the toilet. I thought I was like the worst person. And it's like that only happens when I'm super drunk. Gabe, I think, has experienced the same thing.
Oh, I've been there. I think though it's definitely like, I don't know. I understand like the depressant, but also I definitely understand waking up and having the the infamous never doing that again. And you do it the next day. Like, I feel that, you know?
Yeah.
Like
All right, so
I understand like the logic you're throwing out here. Or I shouldn't say logic. I should say like
the
your
thought
path.
path. Yeah.
Thought path. Yeah. I don't know. Like I think negative emotions often, at least partly, do come from like the pain. If you have a fucking headache, you're just like, oh fuck, like this sucks,
Mhm.
and that just kind of puts you in a bad mood. But I mean, I don't know. Everyone, obviously, like, I guess alcohol is classified as a depressant. I've never thought of it that way. Like, it's never been my experience where I drink like beer and it brings me down. I guess it maybe calms you a little bit, but like
I
we
think
all
it
know,
can
we all do.
amplify.
Exactly. In my opinion, it amplifies whatever mood you're currently in. Like if you're already sad, alcohol might just make you sadder. Or if you're already like energetic, you're just gonna get even more like energetic because your inhibitions are gone. So you're like, yeah, I'll fucking jump off that table. Like I don't give a shit.
Or jump onto the table.
Or yeah, break the table in half.
Break the table.
But I don't know. The psychological rebound, I think, is interesting. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that has any basis or not. I just
Joseph,
thought it
you've
was
had
interesting.
a lot of long nights drinking. What is your opinion?
Throw me
Just
under the
single
bus.
him out.
We haven't talked yet in this conversation.
It's because I'm trying to understand it. So I guess I can kind of see it, but also I feel like I get, at least recently, I should say, more hungover on Sunday morning than I do on Saturday morning, because after work on Friday I'm tired, right? So I don't want to drink, stay up as late. Saturday I've got all day, feel rested. So in Sunday morning, not only do I feel like a piece of shit because I'm A, hungover, B, I have to go to work tomorrow, but I probably slept in until 1 o'clock, and I'm gonna go to bed in like 8 hours. So
Oh
like
my
I just
gosh.
wasted the entire. So there's like a compounding effect, and I can't like say it's one thing or the other of
Yeah.
why I may
Dude.
feel one way or the other. the
This
next
last
morning.
Sunday was fucking rough.
Oh, it sucked.
What'd you guys do on Saturday night?
We drank.
Yeah, we had I'm gonna anecdote, small Friendsgiving, like just an immediate
Oh, I
friend group
understand.
and SOs, not obviously my SOs.
If we know.
Don't think I needed to say it, but I say it anyways.
And Gabe
So-
was not the only lonely person there. It wasn't like a bunch of couples. There were a handful of couples
And
engaged.
he was,
I did
and
kinda
he was
word
like
it that
11th
way.
wheeling.
Yeah, I
That
was
was
not
not-
11. It wasn't even that many people. COVID
Yeah.
safe-ish.
Yeah.
Anyways, we started drinking pretty early, but I think the real kicker was I got wine for Thanksgiving, and I didn't start drinking it till after I did a shot or two shots. No, I think I only did one, and then like a couple like seltzies,
3 shots of vodka.
Yeah, kind of that situation. Where I wasn't like gauging how much I was, and a lot of people weren't either. So I woke up like at 12 o'clock, like Joseph said, feeling like garbage, and I'm like, okay, I gotta make something of my day. So what do? We sit around for an hour. We order chicken tendies and DoorDash them, and then I'm like, okay, not be a piece of shit. I'm gonna run, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Jacob and Dayton. I felt like dog shit. I was feeling like garbage. My food wasn't fully settled, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm
Oh, wait, sorry.
productive.
So you were hungover. You ate
Yep.
canes.
No, it
And
wasn't
No, it was a Cane's clone. It was very
Okay,
very
you
similar.
ate like greasy chicken fingers and
With
then
fries.
went for a run.
Yeah, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make up for it. I'm gonna go for a run.
Dude. If
So
you would have ran before eating, you would have felt so much better.
get this, Shiga. I make it half a mile, and like you get a couple burpees, and like it's fine.
Oh no.
And then I make it about a mile. Like I need to throw up,
Oh.
but I was like, you know what? I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna run, and if I puke, I'm gonna keep running.
Yep.
So I just feel like shit for an entire mile, and then I start running faster because I'm like, oh, let's get home quicker, and then I'll be fine. It'll be done. And I finally, I like open the door, and I am dying. I'm like,
Yeah.
water. I need water. Like I have the, I don't know what you call them, like the floaties in your eyes. Like I was very dehydrated, and I just had the taste of like chicken tenders, like spicy chicken tenders in my stomach and my mouth, and the water made it worse. And it was just, I was miserable for like a good 2-3 hours, like
You didn't puke.
dying. I didn't. I was very close, and that was the fastest mile time I had today. So
Overall win.
overall,
say.
I'd say it's a win.
Sure. I will say, like, I've run in morning time hungover. It does help because I feel like I wake up dehydrated, right? And then you run to get like to rock bottom dehydration.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you like fill yourself back up with food and water, and then you're like, all right, I'm back to
See,
normal.
this guy gets it. He gets it.
But you know, you don't get it because you ate fucking chicken fingers before you went for a run. It's a terrible idea.
Okay, well, I was just gonna have like a couple granola bars and like a glass of water and call it. And then someone mentioned chicky tendies, and I was like, okay, I'll do that first. That seems like a good move. Get some food in
first,
me, you know.
then run.
Some healthy.
That's
food.
what all runners say, is to eat just before you go for a
Especially a big greasy meal.
run. Yeah.
Such never
Full of
again.
carbs.
It's easily
Never
digestible.
again.
Fucking yikes. Well, my topic is actually about food, so that's a good segue. I have a couple different ways I can go on this. Joseph, do you want to go the government route or the anime route?
Anime.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
The government route's pretty depressing, so we'll go with the anime route. Don't worry, Dayton. It's not really about that. It's just how this idea came to be. So I've been thinking about food a lot lately. One, I'm in nutrition, obviously, and we're learning about food in class. And then I started watching a food anime recently, and so Joseph, I started watching Food Wars, right, which is one that
Oh,
Cooper
God.
watched. I cannot recommend this anime to anyone who is not already well versed in anime, because I swear to fucking God, dude, the amount of naked people in this show is insane. Like it's played for laughs, but like, you know, everyone in the show is like a great cook. And whenever anyone eats, imagine I'm the cook and Joseph's like an innocent bystander, and you know I make some food and Joseph eats it. The show cuts to a scene of Joseph naked in a field and just like orgasming because the food is so good. And this happens
Oh.
like 5 to 10 times an episode. And instead
my
of Joseph, it's like big titty anime girls, and it's just so just over the top. Uh, I think it's supposed to be like goofy to the point of like it's funny, but it's just so like
I feel like translating that to an American audience doesn't work.
it's a lot. Like it makes me uncomfortable often watching them in these scenes. But like besides that, the show's
I
pretty
see you
good.
taking notes, Dayton.
Well, I'm not doing anything right now.
But so what I'm saying is, don't watch this show if you've never watched anime before. It's a lot. Anyway, the premise of the show is that it's high school, you know, classic premise. High school, super top tier culinary, you know, school, and everyone's fighting to be the best, right? Who's the
Wait,
best
so these
chef?
are high schoolers that are naked in fields?
Oh yeah, Joseph,
orgasming?
sometimes it's middle schoolers. Sometimes it's middle school girls that are naked, and that's where I'm just like, this is not okay.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
not
anyway, trying to just block that part of the show out of my
cool. How's
mind.
this become STEM?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there, kind of. It was the government topic was a little bit more STEM. We're in pseudo STEM now, Gabe. We're in pseudo STEM. So anyway, what I'm trying to get to is that everyone in this high school is like trying to be the best chef, right? So they have like these showdowns, 1v1, you know, who makes the better dish wins. But the way that like food is presented in the show is not really a celebration of food. It's more a celebration of skill, if that makes sense. Like it's essentially an anime where like a classic, you know, uh like fighter anime like Demon Slayer that Gaber and Joseph were watching. It's like you have a main character who's fighting other characters, but instead of like physically fighting, the move set is just like cooking skills, if that makes sense. Like their moves are their food instead of punching or
Mhm.
using a sword, right?
So it's like they could like whisk up some pancakes really, really well or something.
Yeah, and they use like some special spices and they use some certain technique that's like blows your mind and like
So
it's
is there
besides
like a 5-minute inner monologue about like adding like cinnamon
yeah,
to something?
yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
god,
Dude,
that's
dude,
exact-
you know, if there weren't these fucking preteens that were naked, I think I'd be interested in this show.
But my issue with it is that very little. So if like one of these showdowns is happening, they show like the first minute of them cooking, and then like the last minute, and then like the majority of the fight is just like the judges like judging the food and like figure out like, oh well, you thought I did this, but actually there's this secret part of the dish, and it's just like that kind of stuff. But to me, like I want to see like the actual cooking because I've watched other food anime where like there's all the details on the actual cooking and the food looks fucking amazing. Like just like the attention to detail in the animation is just gorgeous. You're like drooling. I'm never drooling watching this show because the food animation isn't like the point. It's not even that good. The food, like I said, is just like a proxy for fighting. And it kind of like isn't what I love about food, if that makes sense. Like Joseph and I watched some of the Chef Show on
I was gonna
Netflix.
say this is like the complete opposite scale of the
Exactly.
chef
And
show.
that's what I'm getting to is we watched the Chef Show on Netflix, and the Chef Show is like a documentary series by with John Favreau and a chef that he's friends with, where they just go around and they just cook for people, and it's about how food brings people together, how it like cooking for someone is like showing your kindness, like it's you're trying to like love other people by like sharing your food. It's about like culture and like yeah, and like making the food fucking good because you care about the other person, right?
Hmm.
In this show, it's just like making your food fucking good because you want to be the best. It's like
you
more
want to shit
self
on the other guy.
exactly. It's not, and to me, like that's not realistic. Like it's not how anybody like really treats food. Like this, no one lives in Iron Chef America when they're fucking making dinner, right?
I don't know,
Like,
dude. Have you been to some suburban potlucks?
Dude,
That's all I'm gonna say.
dude,
Some of
I
those women get heated.
my
Over
my
some fucking casserole.
Yeah.
Some of this casserole.
I've seen family members within during like I don't know, Thanksgiving and Christmas who feed off a single compliment about a dish. So like, did you hear so and so said my so and so kicked ass? She
yeah,
went back for seconds. It's like fucking chill. It was a fucking pumpkin roll. I don't know.
the suburbia version of it is definitely there.
Yeah.
But like I guess taking to the extreme, like there's a character in the show that their special skill is molecular gastronomy, which is like the science of like I don't know how to describe it well. It's like using science to make food look very, very cool. So an example is my friend Lissa, who's in a food lab here for one of her labs for the student. She made like this little uh, what's the way to describe it? Like it's a thin film that's edible, and inside is water. So it's kind of like a gushy thing,
Like a Tide
right?
Pod.
Like a Tide Pod with, but not gonna kill you.
Forbidden snacks.
But like it's all edible, right? Like it's food you could eat theoretically, right? And so
Mhm.
like this character makes like these insane things using like liquid nitrogen and like a bunch of like little chemicals and stuff to like make the food like super super crazy. And to me, it's like that's not fucking food. Like that's again like a display of skill or art maybe, but like that's not like what you would cook for your friends and family to like, you know what I mean?
Well,
So I
right
guess
now,
sure, but even
back in
then,
the
like
cavemen, back in the fucking cavemen days, they
Yeah, they
probably wouldn't
decorated
think
their
that
food.
they probably were like, "Unga bunga," and they handed him a fucking mammal or a mammoth's fucking hind leg, and then you hand him today like a fucking Beyond Burger or something like that. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this Unga bunga bullshit?"
Is that what they'll say?
Oonga boonga bullshit.
I mean, that's how I imagine it going down.
and I guess like food is like we eat it to survive, right? Like we
Dude,
literally have to
food
eat it to survive.
evolves with us.
It's a very social thing, though.
But it's
Food
also
is
very and it's also and it has a lot of culture in it and like if people just like only cared about what tasted good, we'd all be super obese, which granted we're getting there. Most of the country is obese, which is or overweight or obese. Um, but like food is about like nutrition, but also taste, but also like social stuff. Um, and to me anyway, I mean I'm just talking a lot, but like I want to get your guys' input on it too. Like what I'm saying is like this show doesn't show food the way I wish it did. Whereas like the chef show, like that was with Joseph, like that is a very like wholesome, right? Like you're just like, yeah, these people are just like trying to make good food for their friends, and it's just about how the food brings people together. Um, but I
Uh,
guess like, how do you guys think about
Dude,
food?
I love making food for other people.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
the best.
one because everything that I cook is going to be vegan, of course. So then that means that I can show people that have preconceived notions of vegan food. They're like, "Oh, all vegan food is nasty." And I'm just like, "Bitch, let me cook for you." Like there's no way well, all right, take that back. There's a lot of junk food vegans out there, but if there's any vegans that cook, chances are they're going to be like above average chefs because you have to be. Like you have to know how to season well, you have to know how to like heat things well so they don't fucking get dry or burnt. That's why I like it anyway. Sharing people my food.
Well, Joseph, we used to do our breakfasts on the weekend. I don't know if you guys still do that a lot, but
Nope.
maybe
We do it
like
sometimes.
2 weekends ago, 3
Yeah,
weekends
we
ago.
did it recently when Josh was here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was I fucking love that. I fucking love making pancakes for people.
mhm. And we had like our senior barrel where we cooked for everyone. Like I don't know why it's so satisfying, because and like food always tastes better when it's made by someone else. You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's because you don't know exactly what like went into it, and it's kind of like a mystery. But um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just fucking good. Gabe, I know you love eating those dino nuggets with your friends.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I got one more. One more. Fuck you. Okay.
Leans into Mike.
Now that I've got that settled, I don't know. I don't get the high as maybe I'm just a shitty person, but I don't get the high off of like cooking for other people or like so much really like giving gifts. I think it's just kind of part of my personality. Like it just doesn't do anything for me, which sucks because like I like seeing other people happy, but for some reason, maybe it's because I'm also everyone knows in the podcast, but I'm not a very good cook. So it's like
I feel like that's more of it. I feel like
Yeah.
if you develop that
if I was
that
good at
skill,
it, it'd be different, sure.
yeah.
But I do. I'll add to this. I saw a post on Reddit that was like, I think it was a me IRL post, and it was about that gas. What was that? You said something gastronomy. Wow, I cannot fucking talk.
Molecular gastronomy.
Yes, where it's like the display of the food, right? It was beans and toast, and someone took like bean juice and like 3 little like cute lines and like cut the toast up really well and like made it presentable so it looked super nice, but it was literally like baked beans and toast. And I don't know. I think that looks cool, but I think it's kind of fucking dumb because like I don't know, like it's not like okay, it looked really good. There's beans and toast. Like it's not gonna taste amazing, you know. I
That's
think
not really gastronomy. It's more just like it's like plating. I guess it's
okay,
just like
okay.
insane plating.
So
But
I
yeah, no,
guess it
I
would
know what you mean.
be yeah, I guess I don't know. For me, when I do enjoy food a lot, it's with other people. Like I mean, it's been you can read articles and articles on it. Like when you're eating with other people, it just tastes better. And I do agree that like if it's something I don't cook, and it's also probably because I'm a bad cook. But when other people cook, it is noticeably like there's something that is good about it. And like for example, Tim cooked me some fucking I don't even know what it was. Was it It was an Indian dish or something? Couldn't even
Yeah,
tell you the name of it.
shit.
It was
Coconut.
it was coconut yogurt. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It sounded fucking gross on paper. Absolutely disgusting. Like there'd be no way in fucking hell I would cook it myself. But then he was like, "Hey, I'll cook for you." I'm like, "I don't want to cook. Hell yeah!" And he's like, "It's weird." I'm like, "I don't fucking care. It's free food," and it was amazing. Like it was super good. I mean, part of it was because it was something I wouldn't normally try, and on top of that, it was also like, I mean, I don't know, just very unique and something like you said, like I don't even really understand besides those 2 ingredients how I would put that together myself. You know, like there's a shroud around it.
I think what Dayton said is really true is of why I think I get so much enjoyment out of it is because you are like imparting some of your own personality and some of your own skills and it's like sharing what you enjoy with others. And it is a little bit like self-serving. It's like, hey, look how like good this is, but it's not to like be like, yeah, like you're worse than me. It's like, no, like I believe this is good. Like share it with me. Like let me like
Yeah.
try to show you. It's like showing like your favorite TV show to a friend. You know, it's like I
Well,
want to share this experience with somebody.
yeah, I think cooking, especially for like you and Dayton, is definitely a lot more of like your like personality. It's more of like a hobby, you know? I mean, I guess more for Dayton, it's kind of like spice things up or whatever, but like it's still like part of your lives a lot. Like, I mean, literally you studying wise, right? Like Dayton's with his lifestyle, like that's something you care about and it's something that you value. So like when you share something you value, you want it is a little self-serving because I think you want to be validated with it. Like, here's something I care about. Please validate it. As shitty as that is, I think a lot of people are that way, right? Like, it's just very human nature thing to do. I'm not surprised that it's with cooking.
Yeah, no, I think that's true for sure.
I wanna swing this topic in a little bit of a different way towards the whole kitchen skills aspect.
Oh, great!
And I think that a proxy for your cooking ability is your knives that you have, and if you can, and how you take care of them. Personally,
I mean, it's probably the easiest one, the easiest proxy, I would say.
Yeah, I think that if you have like a decent set of knives and you take care of them, you're probably going to be an above average cook. And I think that there's the obvious outlier of people that are rich and just buy the nicest knives, but they probably don't take care of them.
I also probably don't cook all that much, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Your date. Fuck. Tim got his knives sharpened like professionally, and like the next time he used them, he like cut his finger. Super sharp, super nice knife. I'm not gonna lie, it's just some nice knives. But...
I should sharpen my knives now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think it's because that's important to you? So it's like, okay, I want to take care of my tools. Do you think it's just knives? But I mean, like, I would argue, like, I guess there's two different ways to look at it. Like, you're a good cook because you have good knives, or you have good knives because you're a good cook.
I think it's the second one. Yeah, the latter.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I mean, it's like if you're working as like an electrician or something like that, you're not gonna walk around with a fucking $10 multimeter. Like you're gonna have a nice ass like $400 or $500 fluke probably.
Fluke. Ooh.
Top tier.
Flukes are nice.
They got some nice shit.
I was looking at buying a Fluke multimeter, and then I realized that they were like $300, and I'm like, oh fuck, I can't justify that.
Dude, their network equipment, so good. Little bit of an analogy to this. I think I see a lot of promotional information, or like it's an ad on Twitter about like graphics cards with computers, and they claim this company Nvidia, they're probably like the biggest market share for sure for like graphics cards for consumers, which help you play games. And they have graphs all the time that they post and advertise all over that says that like if you have a better graphics card, you're better. Like the people who own them perform better. Like they're trying to make the argument that because you have a better graphics card, you're better at the game. And I really think that it's the other way around. It's like the reason they have the good graphics card is because they play a lot, right? Like because you use it a lot. And same thing with the knives, right? Like if you're gonna be cooking a lot, or that's something you enjoy, like you're gonna want that experience to be good. You know, same thing with games. You're gonna want the game to run smooth. You don't want to.
Yeah.
You're gonna put that much time into it. Like it's fucking worth it.
And it's funny because like I remember back in like soccer, right? Where you would get the kid who wasn't that good at soccer, but he thought that like the new cleats would make him like super good. And it's just like, dude, you can spend as much money as you want,
it's gonna be bad.
but it cannot substitute for skill or fitness. Like it just,
I think
just can't.
In any case, good equipment can make a good like player better, but it can't make a bad player good.
Yeah. Same thing with a guitar. It's like I could buy the nicest fucking guitar there is. It's not gonna make me any good. You know?
It's like
Yep.
your bad notes will sound better than someone else's bad notes if they have a shittier guitar, but they're
Sure,
still bad.
but yeah, it's still
Yeah.
shitty. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, invest your money into things you spend a lot of time on and you care about,
Mm.
but it's not going to fix all
I
your
think
problems.
I do think it can be a motivator, though. I'm not saying buy the most expensive thing, but I do think buying a nicer thing of something makes getting into it more approachable. I think
Mhm.
there's a sweet spot. Like, for example, the guitar that is so fucking dark you can't even see back there. I was serious with guitar for probably a month and a half, 2 months. And I was like, I just want something that is going to encourage me to play. And I have played on it every day since I bought it, just because it's a lot more comfortable. Am I using it to its maximum potential? Absolutely fucking not. But I do feel a lot more like magnetized to it, I guess, or like more encouraged to use it
I agree
because
with that.
I'm not fighting it, you know?
It's like when you get new running shoes, like I don't want to run in these.
Well, and I was like the
Exactly.
same way with my new watch, right? Like, I don't think I would have gotten nearly as into running as I am right now if I didn't get my watch. Because like I'm just
Yeah.
like, bro, I just paid a lot of money for this watch. I
And
can't let it
that's
just
it
sit on my
too.
watch. Like
That's it too, Dane. It's like, okay, I've dropped money on this. I need to make it worth it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's some financial
It's like the
motivation
sunk
for sure.
cost fallacy, kind of.
Oh, sure. But I think it can be used well if used
Yeah.
appropriately, you know?
yeah, you can
and
you can leverage
responsibly.
it. You can leverage it against yourself.
Yeah, you want to get your mileage out of whatever thing you just bought.
Like Joseph, you bought that Switch, like you probably
And I
feel more
wanna play
obligated to
games
play. Yeah,
on it.
you want to fucking make it worth it, you
I'm
know?
gonna
Your
use it as
girlfriend keeps tying you down.
decoration. Yeah. One
Yeah.
thing's got to go, I guess. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Good thing. Well, she listens to the podcast sometimes, I think.
She
Not all the
listens
time.
to every episode.
I'm
I
gonna
was
give
gonna
you
say
a
we're
hint.
pretty
It's
deep.
not.
I don't know.
It's not the one with 2 Joy-Cons.
All right. Well, that's our episode for this week. Thank you so much for listening. We are approaching episode 100, which is very exciting. Stay tuned for details on that, but we're very excited about it. But yeah, you can always find our show on Mondays on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. You can follow us on Instagram at EWF Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitch at EWF_podcast. Again, maybe you throw that a follow because we might be streaming more on it coming up soon. So yeah, should be a good time. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.